A group of young college students do the unthinkable. They break into a library and steal millions of dollars worth of art. But the bumbling bandits make one mistake after another, and eventually they end up in handcuffs. This week on Two Crime Newsies, we go on a wild ride through one of the most bizarre art heists you've probably never heard of. I'm Jen. Thanks for being with us for another week of Two Crime Newsies.
Good morning, Jen. I'm Tina.
Hi, my friend.
Hi. I forgot to refill my coffee.
We recorded an episode before this one, and I already drank out my cup of coffee, but I've already had 3 before I came over to your house today. So that was coffee number 4. I know. I feel like my heart's probably going to have some palpitations.
Oh my gosh. I don't think you've ever been here on 4 cups of coffee.
Welcome.
I kind of want to hang out with you today.
I'll have the zoomies.
Yeah, I bet you're a lot of fun on 4 cups of coffee. I would be a mess, by the way.
Yeah, it's something. I just can't get going. There's been a lot going on the last week, and I just can't get going.
Do you hit a wall though? If I have too much coffee, I actually go to sleep. Is that weird?
Oh, I've never heard of somebody going to sleep with too much coffee.
You know how you get a sugar crash?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I get a caffeine crash where it's just too much in my system and I need to fall asleep immediately.
I can totally understand that. I don't get I don't fall asleep, and I don't get that extreme of a crash, but I will occasionally get a little bit of a headache that comes on.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So not a full-blown migraine, because those are the worst, but I'll get a little bit of a headache.
I'm excited to see where this episode goes with you on 4 cups of coffee. And hey, that means you've been draining our coffee fund, ma'am.
I know. I'm sorry, my friend.
If you would like to help refill our coffee fund, you can go to twocrimenewsies.com. There's a link to buy me a coffee there, or you can go to buymeacoffee.com/twocrimenewsies. If you'd like to contribute to our coffee fund, we appreciate any donation you'd like to leave us.
We really do. Okay, my friend, are you ready to get to this week's episode? I think we're in for a good one today.
This is a great story.
The show we're talking about today is on the Vice channel, which honestly I didn't even know that existed until I started looking for an episode for this week. But nonetheless, it in fact exists. And the episode we're talking about is part of a series called Fakes, Frauds, and Scammers. Tina, these criminals have an entire series dedicated to them. Can you believe it?
No, I can't believe it. And I'm excited you found it. So now you can find us some more episodes of these to watch.
I found this just fascinating because these people, my intro said bumbling bandits, and these people truly are bumbling bandits.
They really are. And I like how you said fakes, frauds, and scammers. All of my favorite things.
Okay. So, you want to get into this week's episode?
Please, let's
do it. So this week's episode is called, drum roll please, Stealing Millions as Teenage Art Thieves. The show opens with a shot of 2 men being led into a white police van, and then a newswoman says it's one of the most brazen art heists in U.S. history, and it went down in an unlikely place. We then see on the screen what looks like a library. The newswoman goes on to say it's a scene so unbelievable one would think it was a movie. And that's when we see a close-up of the J. Douglas Gay Jr. Library. I have a tendency to say library, so for those, I apologize. Tina keeps correcting me, but it's going to be either library or library. Just a heads up.
Yeah, I it's one of those words that drives me nuts. Library.
Like my Piopal.
Yes. Actually, I really like Piopal.
Instead of the word people. Yeah. The way it's spelled, it should be Piopal.
I do not have a problem with Piopal. Mm-hmm. I have a problem with library.
I'll do my best, Tina.
So yeah, just, you were doing a great job there. We also see a graphic on screen that shows us 4 young men, and above their faces it says, book heist. Then we cut to someone saying, we were taking our cues from movies and TV. Uh-oh, that didn't sound good. Mm-mm. And over that soundbite, we see what looks like a to-do list for criminals. And here's some of the items on the list. disguise, walkie-talkies and headsets, and temporary residence for loot. Though these guys clearly are not bookworms. They misspelled residence.
Did they really?
Yeah. They instead of residence, like a place that you live or stay,
Yeah.
they used residence as in people who live in a place.
Isn't that the same thing?
No. Look at the two spellings in here. Residence for loot and then residence below it.
Oh, so residents, like people as in residents, and then residents as in residence as a place to live.
And they used the wrong one.
Serious geniuses
They're
here.
college students.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Then we cut to a clip of Megyn Kelly from her NBC anchor days. And she says, 4 middle-class college students decided to become art thieves. Then we learned the crime was being called the Transylvania Book Heist.
Tina, the Transylvania Book Heist. That sounds like right up my alley. Do you think they stole some books about Dracula?
That really does sound up your alley.
It does.
No, that's not what it means. And here's why. The Transylvania Book Heist happened at Transylvania University in Lexington, Kentucky. Have you ever heard of it?
Transylvania
Yeah.
University. I want to go there.
I'm really sad I didn't go there, to be honest with you.
How cool. You know, you see people walk around with the like Harvard or Yale sweatshirts. Like, I want a sweatshirt that says Transylvania on it.
Same. If we ever make that road trip to Kentucky, Transylvania University is a stop.
Here we come.
And I wanted to know how Transylvania University got its name because it does remind me, as we mentioned, of Dracula.
Yes.
But I love how excited you are.
I'm bummed.
Your eyes got really big. Yes. Okay. The university was named way before Bram Stoker's Dracula from 1897. Yeah. According to Google AI, Transylvania University was named after the Transylvania colony, a 1775 to 1776 pioneering settlement region in the 18th century Western Virginia, which is now Kentucky. The name is Latin for across the woods, referring to heavily forested area located on the other side of the Appalachian Mountains from the established Virginia colony. This is all from Google AI.
Tina, my Transylvania Dracula thing, I think, is a lot more fascinating.
I agree with you. And when the Virginia legislature chartered a school in 1780, it was intended to serve the Transylvania region.
Okay, I can kind of understand that now.
So that's how it got its name. And according to the university's website, the university merged with Kentucky University and was called Kentucky University until 1908. Then it went back to Transylvania University at that time.
I wonder what their mascot is.
Do
you think it's a vampire?
Hold on, let me see. Transylvania.
Do you think their mascot is a vampire?
If it's not, what a waste.
I mean, come on, Transylvania. Let's see what it is. Tina's Googling.
I mean, it's not a vampire, but it's got, you know.
Hold on, let me guess.
Okay.
Is it a bat?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's a bat.
Okay, Transylvania University. I'm a little more behind you now again.
I need this sweatshirt.
Yes. Tina, we must go. You know, watch out Yale and Harvard, like Transylvania all the way.
I agree.
How cool is that? They have a bat as their mascot.
I do like that.
I like them now. Okay. We then see on the screen an average looking guy who looks like he could be your next door neighbor who says, "We were all 19 years old." We next see him hold his hands in front of him in the interview as if he's pretending his hands are a gun. And he says, "I trained the gun on his face and everything kind of came together and came crashing down at that moment." We then are introduced to Chaz Allen, that average-looking guy who could be anyone's neighbor. And he says when he was 19, he was involved in one of the largest art heists in U.S. history. What an introduction, Tina. I mean, when I was 19 years old, I was in college, and I think my biggest accomplishment was that I got an A on my psychology test. Meanwhile, this dude is responsible for the largest art heist theft in history.
Did you really take psychology in
I
college?
did.
I changed my major a few times, and I wanted it to be psychology for a minute there, but I never took any classes.
My professor was a wackadoo. I can honestly say that.
Oh.
He was a wackadoo who I think should have been studied himself.
Oh,
Truly.
how fun! fun.
Yeah,
that would have been an experience.
It was. What were you doing when you were 19 years old, Tina?
I have no idea what I was doing at 19. I think 19 is when I got my first cell phone.
I got my first cell phone in high school.
Oh. No, I was way later. My biggest accomplishment at 19 was probably making it to my morning classes on time.
Oh, those morning classes.
They were terrible.
So bad. I had history. I remember my first semester in college, I took history at like 8 a.m. What was I thinking?
I think mine was worst. Introduction to music. That was a bad choice. I had to drop that one.
You should have taken psychology.
I should have taken psychology. My sister, by the way, is very gifted in music. So it's really weird how I got none of that. She got all the music genes.
Okay, back to the story. Chaz says when he was 19, he was arrogant, brash, and angry. And he says his parents were going through a divorce and all this.
We see Chaz and the other three guys sitting for an interview on Megyn Kelly today, and she asks them, how do four normal and seemingly happy college guys decide to become art thieves? While she's talking, we also see a chyron on the screen that says, art heist gone wrong. So by that chyron alone, I know this is going to be a good story.
Yup.
I have to mention, while she's asking them this question, the four guys all look to have some level of disassociation here.
They do.
A couple of them are looking down. One has their arms crossed over their chest. And they look pretty serious, even though it sounds like we're about to listen to a light and funny story, right? Megyn even has an enthusiastic tone in her voice, like she's excited to hear a great story. But these guys look like they've been through it.
Yeah, they really do. And they do not look happy to be there.
No. And I'm curious, what are they doing there? Do they do a heist, get caught, and then decide to do a publicity tour? What are they doing on this talk show?
They did a book tour, Tina.
They did a book tour. Oh, they probably did. I wonder if one of them was promoting something like that. Okay.
Could be.
But you don't normally see criminals or alleged criminals sit down for an interview on a daytime talk show. Even the background music that we're hearing on the episode right now is a bit Pink Panther-y, kind of light, like doo-dee-doo-doo. Chaz gives us a little bit more background information now. He says Lexington, Kentucky is a small town where everyone knows everyone, and the other three guys in this heist group are boys he grew up with. He also says all four of them were going through some issues at this time in their lives in college. He says one guy in the group was an art student at Transylvania University and in regular conversation brought up how there were some art books worth about $12 million in this special collections room at the university.
Go Bats.
Go Bats! Oh my gosh.
I feel like, I don't know, that felt natural.
That was great. The narrator chimes in here and says, this special collections room that Chaz is talking about holds more money, Jen, than you'll find in bank vaults.
Transylvania U is rolling in the monies.
Yeah.
I mean, whoa.
Go Bats.
Go Bats. So naturally, instead of going to admire these paintings like one would normally do, they decide, hey, let's boot these paintings. The insanity here, Tina. I want to know how this plan was hatched because I feel like some alcohol was involved the first time this conversation came up. What do you think?
I can't imagine they concocted this plan when they were sober.
They were probably playing some beer pong or something.
Something. I also can't believe they thought it was a good idea. However, their frontal lobes were probably not developed yet. And I did Google this. According to Google AI, it happens around 25 to 27 for men. So there's that.
There's that. They were only 19 at the time.
Mm-hmm. We also learned that Transylvania University's collection has a specialty in natural history books, very valuable ones.
And it makes sense because they're the bats.
Sure.
You know natural history, like that animals? No?
Are you thinking about natural history caverns, caves, bats?
Yeah.
Is that what you're, okay. I like how I followed your thinking
My brain there. Little interesting factoid here, Tina. When I was in Singapore, my husband and I went to Singapore on holiday a couple years ago. And we went to the night zoo. So the Singapore Zoo is one of the like best zoos in the world, and they
What
have
do you
like
mean the night zoo?
just stay with me here. And so they have different parts of the zoo. It's this massive compound, and they have like several different types of zoos. There's like a water zoo, there's a regular zoo, there's also the night zoo. And at the night zoo,
Is a water zoo like an aquarium?
no, it's all these like rivers that animals are like at in the zoo. It's
That's
incredible.
cool.
And at the night zoo, they have like a night safari where you sit on a tram and it drives through this zoo at night, and all the animals are really, really active. And one of the things that you're allowed to walk through as part of the night zoo is the bat enclosure. And literally, these things are zooming you, right? You're dodging them left and right. And I almost got taken out by a bat.
It sounds like a nightmare.
It was incredible, though. Like,
Yeah.
you could feel, like, the...
No. Literal nightmare.
I'm just saying, the Singapore Zoo, Tina, that is the place to go.
Do they test them for rabies?
I'm sure. I mean, it's Singapore. They're great.
They're great with rabies.
I'm sure they do. I mean, who knows? But
Who knows is right.
I mean, it's not like they're latching on to you. I'm sure they're fed really well.
Oh, gosh.
But just a really cool little tidbit about my bat experience.
I'm glad that you had that experience and you enjoyed it.
I'll never forget it.
I would probably never forget it either. And I don't ever want to experience it. But thank you for doing it for us.
You're welcome. Okay, so we here, the band of, and I don't know what to call them, wannabe art thieves, started watching heist films to amp themselves up for the job, which makes me wonder if they watched The Italian Job, which inspired one of the heists we did an episode on a while back, the Lloyd's Bank heist in London. We hear these wannabe criminal masterminds wanted to originally use disguises. And we see on the screen a scene from the 2001 movie Snatch, where 4 guys are wearing black hats and they have ears.
Beards?
Beards. They have ears. Where 4 guys are wearing black hats, they have beards, and some glasses on their faces.
I don't think I've ever seen the movie Snatch, but here's how Chaz describes it for us. He says the thieves in that movie disguise themselves as Hasidic Jews. So Chaz says their version of disguises was based on that. And he says they made masks out of putty to make them look like old men. They added bald caps to their heads and hats on top, and also found some suits at a thrift store.
Let me just mention, and we hear anchor Megyn Kelly say this on the show as well, they were robbing a college library. Tina, a library, and they thought it would be inconspicuous to dress like an old man. A college library at that, because clearly a group of old men would not stand out at all amongst a college library full of college-age people.
That was so funny when she said that. How in the world did they think they would blend in wearing those costumes?
We then hear they did a trial run wearing these costumes. And to play up the part, we hear they were hobbling and limping around the university campus. And Chaz tells us that rather than being inconspicuous, they stood out like a sore thumb.
Of course they did.
You think? Chaz, come on.
When you were talking, I had this picture in my mind of them hobbling around.
Meanwhile, you have college students out there likely playing frisbee, you know, and then you see these 4
group
old
of
men.
4 guys together limping around and stuff.
Ugh.
I would love to see a recreation of this. Someone needs to put it in a movie. I think it would be hilarious. I will give them this. At least they did a trial run.
I mean, I think you're giving them some credit there, Tina.
Something. Although after seeing how poorly that went, Jen, you would think that they would have reconsidered the whole heist and decided that they just aren't meant to be criminal masterminds.
So clearly, they had to change up their plans. And this takes us to the day of the heist, December 17th, 2004. Walk me through it, my friend.
Okay. Chaz says that after the trial run,
Which didn't go well.
he wasn't feeling like this was a good idea after all.
Maybe he's the genius behind all this. Like, he's like, nope, I don't think so.
Well, he's not, because he still went on with it. He did have one coherent thought. But instead of dropping out, he decided he was going to let the other guys do the heist, and he was going to volunteer to be the getaway driver. Sir, that's not a better plan. You're still involved in the heist as a getaway driver. Chaz says the day of the heist, he picks up 2 of the guys that were going to be doing the heist in the special collections room. And he says the drive to the university was real quiet that day. He was feeling solemn. That's your gut, Chaz, telling you not to do something that you don't have to do.
In the world of crime, it's often the smallest details that cost people the most, the things they didn't see coming. And when it comes to your home and auto insurance, overpaying every month without realizing it, that's a costly mistake.
That's where Quentin Brown with Shamrock Insurance comes in. Instead of locking you into one option, Quentin shops over 25 top-rated insurance carriers to find you the best coverage at the best price, so you're not left paying more than you should.
Whether you're a homeowner, driver, business owner, or even a truck driver, Shamrock Insurance has you covered.
No surprises, no wasted money, just smart protection tailored to you. So before your next bill hits like a bad plot twist, make the smart move.
Call Quentin Brown with Shamrock Insurance today at 512-337-2482 and let him shop for you. Because saving money should not be a mystery.
If you missed that number, it's 512-337-2482. We'll include it in the show notes. Don't wait. Give him a call today. Chaz gets to the university and pulls into a parking spot near the emergency exit of the building. And he says the guys had already gone in the day before and cut the alarm to the emergency exit so that it wouldn't sound when they opened the door. That really doesn't end up doing anything.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Tina, theft is not funny. I think we cover these heist stories, and I think for me, it's just some of the brazenness. Mm-hmm. I would love to be a fly on the wall inside of the car. Like, what is going on in that car?
Well, there was silence on the way over there, so but not much.
I feel like he was probably not the only one having this, no, don't do it.
No one spoke up about it. That's the problem. So the art student who told them about the special collections room, he's going to be the lookout guy. And the plan is for 2 of the guys to go into the special collections room, approach the librarian, and tell her they're here for the books. Hand them over. And Chaz mentions there was talk about using a taser, but that was vetoed. Though, as Jen is about to tell us, it looks like someone wasn't present at the veto meeting.
Uh-huh. This takes us into the rare book collection room, and we hear from the librarian, whose last name is Gooch, who says one of the guys said to the other one, grab her hands, and then she says he pressed a stun gun into her left arm. Chaz says he's meanwhile waiting in the van with another guy, and that guy gets a call from inside the library to come help carry some of these books out. This is when we see what looks like a police report on the screen, which says Gooch, the librarian, was stunned with a stun gun, had a mask put over her head, and was tied at the hands and feet.
Chaz is still waiting in the van, and he says this whole operation was supposed to be a quick in and out. But these guys are taking forever. Then he says he sees one of the guys kick open the emergency exit door and start sprinting to the van while he's being chased by one of the other librarians.
I can't help but laugh. I'm getting that visual. I don't know why, but I have that Tom and Jerry cat and mouse spiel running through my mind.
That's what it probably looks like. And I'm sure that them cutting the alarms really helped there. No one chased them out. That's exactly what happened. They got chased out still. Oh my gosh. One of the guys opens the side door of the van for the other to jump in, and Chaz says he then hits the gas and takes off, ignoring all stop signs and red lights.
Okay, Tina, before we get to what all they got, I want to say that this, to me, sounds like a scene out of a movie. It's a nice, calm day when suddenly a group of thieves break into a library of all places. They tie up the librarian, who I picture to be wearing an ankle-length skirt that's brown and a brown-colored shirt with a cap brooch, who who has big metal frame glasses and her hair tucked into a bun with a pencil through it. That's what I see. And this poor elderly woman, I picture her to be elderly because, library. And she's tied up and her face is covered. So she's panicking while these ruffians are going through the precious natural history books looking for art. And then these bandits are chased out by another librarian, probably dressed very similarly to the first one. And in my mind, I'm picturing this woman chasing after them, screaming, "Give me back the books!" as they kick open the emergency exit and hop into a moving getaway van while the angry librarian lady chases after them. Is that what you picture too?
No. When you said, "Give me back the books," it reminded me of Elf when the nun says, "But the children love the books."
I love that movie.
Also, Jen, most librarians I can recall interacting with were not elderly.
I don't know. That's what I picture. With the cat brooch and all.
And secondly, I'm so disappointed that what I would consider a safe job, being in a quiet library surrounded by books, isn't so safe after all.
Not at Transylvania U.
Is there no place on this earth that one can be safe from criminals?
Apparently not.
Here's a list of items these guys took. A Darwin book bound in leather with gold embossing worth $25,000.
$25,000 for a book?
Mm-hmm. A book containing woodcut illustrations worth $450,000.
$450,000. I'm just going to repeat all these numbers because holy smokes.
A $200,000 illuminated manuscript. I have no idea what that means.
The way I see that, in my mind, I picture, the movie National Treasure when they show the glimpse of, the Constitution in the... That's, what I have in my... they took the entire case.
I don't know. 20 Audubon sketches worth $50,000. And a collection of books about birds of America. All in total, Chaz says the books were worth about $1 million.
Wow. This is when we meet Pat Murray, who's a retired police sergeant with the Lexington Police Department. And Sergeant Murray looks like someone you don't want to piss off, in my opinion. He looks like he could be a high school football coach in the South who you don't want to make angry unless you want to be doing push-ups for a couple hours. He looks like a no-nonsense kind of guy, if you ask me. Don't you think?
Sometimes I wonder where you get these things from, but for some reason he did look like a football coach to me.
We learned that Sergeant Murray was also the one who was in charge of the Transylvania book heist investigation.
Sergeant Murray says at first he thought this was a professional job. He thought these guys were like the Pink Panthers, and they were already out of state by the time the police arrived on scene. And he said he thought the $1 million worth of books were long gone forever. However, when they started going through the librarian's computer, they found emails from the thieves.
So-called criminal masterminds there.
Mm-hmm. They were emailing the librarian to set up an appointment with her. And that makes sense, Jen, that you'd have to have an appointment to see these pricey items in the special collections room. They used the name Walter Beckman in the emails, and they were coming from a Yahoo account. Gmail, guys.
I have a Yahoo account.
I know you do, Jen. Oh my gosh. I can't. Yeah. I can't believe they still have Yahoo accounts.
At least it's not an AOL account.
I guess. So police get a search warrant for that email account, and Yahoo sends them CDs filled with tons of information, including emails from that Walter Beckman account, to Christie's auction house. How the heck do these guys think an auction house, Christie's, isn't going to find out that these items are stolen?
My whole thing is here, I think about this, and as I was watching this episode, I'm like, how stupid are these people? Excuse my language, but truly.
Their frontal lobe isn't developed yet.
This is true. They used their own email addresses to basically set up the heist. And then they continued using the same email address to try and set up meetings with auction houses to sell the stolen art.
Well, it was from a Walter Beckman email address.
But still, these are no criminal masterminds, that's for sure. Chaz, meanwhile, tells us that he knew it would never work with selling the art to a legitimate auction house.
Again, Chaz, I feel like you're having these thoughts, but you're just not following through.
I know. Come on, Chaz. But the bandits didn't listen to Chaz because he says they were positive that Christie's was able to sell the books. And for those of you who don't know, Christie's is a massive auction house that sold some of the world's most priceless pieces of art.
Christie's is also in New York. So Sergeant Murray says since the heist has now crossed state lines, they had to bring in the FBI.
I feel like when the FBI is brought in, like, that's bad news.
Mm-hmm.
You know? You don't want to do that.
I don't want to mess with them.
No. Sergeant Murray says they had a call with Christie's auction house and they had video of the suspects walking into the building. We see the video on the show, and then 2 of the suspects were caught on camera. They're wearing nice suits with a tie on. They have clean shaved faces and their hair is neatly done. And they look like they belong at Christie's.
At least they're not wearing their old man costumes.
Of course, Chaz says that the 2 suspects had to have a good backstory to tell Christie's why they would be in possession of these rare finds.
Okay, guys, let's hear it.
Okay, so they came up with this. We hear their backstory was that they had a very rich relative.
This reminds me of the email. I am a very rich, what is it? The guy who asks you for money, or he needs you to give him money and then he'll give you back a larger sum of money.
Exactly. That like scam. And so we hear their backstory was that they had a very rich relative and they were there to sell the books on that person's behalf. And we heard they had fake names and fake IDs, and police records on the screen say that one person introduced himself as Mr. Stephen Williams and the other person was Mr. Stevens.
Really?
Mm-hmm. They couldn't even come up with different names than Stephen.
One guy chose Mr. Stephen Williams, and the other couldn't come up with anything but Mr. Stevens? What about Mr. Jones, or Mr. Smith, or Mr. Phillips? Anything but Stephen.
How many Stevens are you going to have with these really wealthy relatives with these books and with the same email address? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's just not.
Sergeant Murray says it best here, I think, Jen. He says if he has millions of dollars in books, he's not sending a 20-year-old to represent him. That's exactly right.
Yup.
Oh my gosh. Sergeant Murray also does some old-fashioned, simple investigative work here, Jen, that I just love and appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a fantastic contrast to the elaborate but very poorly thought out plan these bandits tried to get away with. Sergeant Murray simply takes a look at these guys and says, you know, my son is around their age. Maybe he recognizes them from school.
Smart.
And sure enough, Sergeant Murray's son watches the video from Christie's and instantly recognizes these guys as Spencer Reinhard and Warren Lipka.
We also find out that these men gave Christie's their own cell phone number, Tina. These are not criminals. These are dum-dums. Excuse my language, but and it's not very kind of me to say, but come on, who does that? At least give a fake phone number.
Okay, so this is one of those examples of when I think men just don't think things through. No offense to my husband or Jen's husband. We are married to some very smart guys.
Indeed.
I will always go to my husband for any kind of math problem I've got. I cannot do math.
Same. I was just thinking, I'm like, I'm not the mather. I'm the writer in the family. Mm-hmm. I'm not the mather.
Yes, I need my husband. He's very intelligent. It's one of the things I most admire about him. But if I ask my husband to put some bacon on the grill, Jen, he'll open the pack of bacon on the counter and let all the bacon juice just drip out.
Oh.
And then I'll say, hey, you can put something under there like a plate or a cutting board or a piece of foil, something to catch the bacon mess. And then he'll say, oh, I didn't think that far ahead.
I can totally see him saying that too.
Right? In his defense, though, the bacon situation isn't one of those dire situations where you'll go to jail if you don't think things through. But I think this phone thing is one of those situations where these guys were meeting with Christie's. Christie was probably collecting all of their contact information, and when it came time to give a phone number, they forgot to get a burner phone. Is that what it's called? A burner phone?
A burner phone, yeah. You're down with the lingo.
Yeah, a phone that you just buy at a convenience store and then toss away when you're
burn
done with it. Yeah, so they didn't have one of those, and they were stuck and thought, oh no, I guess we're just going to have to give them our phone number.
Chaz says the phone number actually had the guy's real name in the voicemail, and we hear Chaz say, hey, this is Spence. Leave it. This is when we see a police record stating that on February 3rd, 2005, the FBI called that phone number and a voicemail answered indicating, this is Spence, on the pre-recorded message. And this takes us to the arrest. Walk me through it, my friend.
Chaz says it was about 5:30 or 6 in the morning when the FBI arrested them. He says his girlfriend woke him up saying someone was in the house. So he gets up, grabs a gun from his closet, and then hears someone banging on his front door. He's in a 2-story home, and he says he was standing at the top of the stairs with the gun aimed at the door at the bottom of the stairs. And that's when he says a guy wearing SWAT gear breaks through the door, and Chaz has the gun pointed at him. Jen, I can't believe Chaz didn't get shot.
Same. I am shocked at the restraint of that police officer.
Sergeant Murray says something held back that SWAT guy from pulling the trigger, and instead he demanded Chaz put the gun down. And Chaz did. He put the gun down and realized he's been caught and he's going to prison.
Sergeant Murray says that he went downstairs in Chaz's house, and that's where he found the actual books and the artwork, and it was all in duffel bags. We hear Eric Borsick, Warren Lipka, Spencer Reinhardt, and Chaz Allen all pled guilty and served 7 years in prison for the heist. Chaz tells us that according to the FBI, the heist is one of the most audacious art heists in American history.
Sergeant Murray says one of the worst things about this crime is the physical force and the psychological trauma the librarian endured. And I don't imagine as a librarian you even expect to be the victim of a violent crime while you're on the job.
Definitely not.
That poor lady.
Poor lady. Tina, I also want to say, as I was looking into the show, I did a little digging and I found a Vanity Fair article online about this heist. The article is called Majoring in Crime, and the subheading is hilarious. Listen to this. It says the untold story of the Transy book heist is one part Ocean's 11 and one part Harold and Kumar.
That's a great description.
I feel like that description is spot on. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, they were just a band of bumbling wannabe thieves. And I, of course, wanted to know, where are these guys at now? And according to CNBC, they were released from prison in 2012, and Spencer Reinhold is apparently an artist. Warren Lipka graduated from Temple University with a master's in film studies, and both Chaz Allen and Eric Borsick have both written books about the heist. What a crazy story. I can say, I enjoyed watching this show, and I thought we should do some more of it. What do you think?
Absolutely. And I'm so glad we do this podcast, because I don't think I would have ever heard about this case if you weren't digging through to find us a good story to talk about. So excellent find, Jen. And yes, please look for some other episodes like this for us to watch.
I can definitely do that.
And if you enjoyed this episode like we enjoyed recording it, send it to a friend. It's one of the ways you can help other people discover our podcast.
Yes, and also leave us a 5-star review if you can on whatever platform you are listening to us on. We love reading those reviews, and it just makes us smile.
It really does.
All right, my friend, you ready to close out?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it. We will talk to you guys again next week. Bye.